What is up, world? Bakerman Brad here, and this time I've got a little bit of a change of pace with a game called Crazy Killer. And so I'll get into the details of what this game has to offer. Keep in mind, it's going to be a little bit slower pace, unless of course you're being chased by a killer like this guy. It's got to suck. Don't bring him up here. Thanks, appreciate you. Anyways, let's take a look at what this game has to offer, especially for those of you out there who like Gary's mod. So let's get into it. Alright, so if anybody was wondering, we survived! And we have a celebration dance. Anyways, Crazy Killer is brought to us by Gaijin, and when you get into the lobby, when you start playing the game, there's all of 3 roles you can play. A civilian, a sheriff, and the killer. So, I know I mentioned that it's for people who like Gary's mod. This might be something you enjoy because it is a slower pace and primarily trying to figure out who's what. Unless you're the killer, then you're just trying to kill everybody. But as the sheriff, you're trying to figure out who the killer is, and as the civilian, you're trying to figure out who the killer is and not be killed by them. So, it's going to be a slower paced game. Everybody has 2 things they can bring into a match. A miscellaneous item. The sheriff can bring in some type of a gun, and the killer can bring in some type of a melee weapon, with the exception of one of the costumes, or one of the, I guess, unlockables, Iron Ned, who is armored and has a rifle, but he moves very slowly. So keep that in mind whenever you are playing the game as the sheriff. Only sheriffs can have a gun, and don't shoot the sheriff. I'm not gonna start singing that. I could have. I really could have then. I should have. Anyways, as a civilian, like I said, your role is to survive. And also try to help the sheriff. I mean, if you see the killer killing somebody, feel free to, tell somebody. Don't pull a kitty here and, watch someone get stabbed and just say, oh, someone else will help. And then the killer comes back and stabs him again, and still you're like, no, I don't want to help because someone else is totally going to help, but then they end up dying because you didn't help. You get the idea. Anyways, the game, I think we found the killer, but they already know. So I'm just going to play some dramatic music for them as they go and kill the killer. So, one thing I should mention is that this game is in early development. I like how we had the mob here that was going to go for him. As a civilian, there's literally nothing you can do to kill the killer or defend yourself. You really just have to run and hope that the killer decides to kill somebody else. But that might change. You do have a healing wand you can use, but as I was going to say, as this is early development, there are problems. Yeah, that happens a lot. Anyways, whenever you're in the lobby, there have to have a certain amount of people to get the game started, which I think the minimum is 6. But that makes for a really interesting version of the game, I can tell you this much. It doesn't really take that long, because honestly, there's all of, 4 people that are civilians, and in this perfect example is, that I'm going to show you as the sheriff, there's only 1 killer. And so the game continues until all of the killers, which normally there's 2, are killed, or the killer has killed everybody, or the time runs out. So there's 3 different ways that the game will end, none of which is really affected by the civilian, unless of course they are really good at running away. But you see here, there's only, under the timer there, only 5 players left, and so that includes the sheriff, I believe, but it does not include the killer. Oh, so the killer has killed somebody. But as a sheriff, one of the tricks is to not have your... Oh, there we go. To not have your gun out because they don't know who you are. Game on. Anyways, that was the sheriff, and now we'll show you the killer, which I can tell you right now, I sucked at. I was not a good killer. Neither was the person in that other match that I was the sheriff as, but I can tell you that for the basic components, if you don't really have much unlocked, the game can be a little bit difficult to actually be successful as a killer or the sheriff. Because normally, if you don't have something unlocked, someone else is going to. Like I've got a crowbar, like I said. Some of the sheriffs have flintlock pistols. Oh, and you know how the killer in the last one didn't know that I was the sheriff? Well, as the killer, I didn't know that guy was the sheriff. So yeah, that happens a lot. You'd be surprised, or you might not be, because it happened twice now. Anyways, I sucked at the killer, so we're gonna keep showing you the civilian, because actually that's another thing to say is, more often than not, you're gonna be a civilian, unless you buy one of the badges that you can get in the shop to increase your chances of being one or the other. Oh, great, there's a killer. Okay, dramatic music, because he missed. Oh, there's another killer. This is like the worst place to be. Anyways, yeah, so like I was saying, there's a lot of things that can happen in terms of missing a jump, or finding the sheriff, or finding the killer, but one thing that'll always happen, yeah, exactly, likes to cut out again. But anyways, since we're in the shop and the menu there, I'm going to go ahead and show you some stuff about the shop. So like I was talking about, those extra items you can get, they're magic wands, inflatable bats. Those items are things that the civilians can carry just to kind of have something. But the banjo, the guitars, the books, some of the other things like that that you can activate and play are universal. You can be used by all of them. The toy magnifying glass is what I was talking about in terms of being able to detect the role of the other characters, and there are health items. Now primarily, there's that civilian badge that I was talking about. If you choose that, you have a higher chance of being a civilian, which you already have a high chance of being, so I don't really know if you would ever really need to buy that, unless of course you unlock something like the schoolgirl costume and you really want to be the schoolgirl. You could do that, or a ghost, because some of the cool things is that you can actually come back from the dead and scare people, or there is a zombie that you can be as a civilian, and you can come back after you are killed and try to kill everybody, which I guess technically lets the civilians win, because you were a civilian and you're now a zombie, and if you kill everybody, I don't know. I don't know that dynamic. It's still being worked on, I think. Plus, I've never seen it happen, so I can't really tell you what it would do. But anyways, there's a whole bunch of skins that you can get as a civilian. There's the zombie that I was talking about. I had that unlocked, and then it disappeared. One of the perks of it being in early development, things like to just disappear. But anyways, the sheriff, there's the sheriff's badge, the silenced pistol, and all of these do have some level of, I guess, uniqueness or difference. The 911 has a little bit more power and accuracy. The flintlock pistol only has one shot. A bunch of little things like that that will affect the game as a sheriff. There's a laser pistol, and I'm pretty sure that that thing would be a little bit OP. But then also there's the Wild West Sheriff, which that guy apparently is going to make you like the most awesome sheriff that has ever sheriffed. But anyways, as a killer, you can be a maniac, you can have a crowbar, which they made a nice little Easter egg reference there. This guy's got himself a chainsaw and runs around, and the thing is, as the skin, you are kind of noticeable. Being that this thing can kill anybody in just about one hit, it would be unfair for people to be like, oh, surprise, you're the killer. So that is one thing that is different, is as long as you have one of these specialty skins for either the sheriff or the killer. There's that Iron Ned that I was talking about, the only killer that's going to have a rifle. Keep that in mind, people who are playing as sheriff. If you're playing this game, don't shoot anyone who has a pistol, because Iron Ned's the only one who's going to have a gun, and it's going to be a rifle. Anyways, those are some of the items. Oh, they also have a Freddy reference, which is pretty entertaining, and I think down at the bottom they actually have a, well, it's not a lightsaber. Yeah, the light knife. Clearly they're playing on some references in this game. But anyways, let's go ahead and get back into the game and show you some more about some of the items. So another little quirk about being in early development is that some of the items don't do anything. They say they do, like this spray paint. Yep, nothing. It's you're supposed to be able to tag it, which I would imagine you kind of have to have something to be selected as a tag down the road. But for now, it kind of just sprays the wall. So there are things that this game is working on, and I can't stress enough that it is in an early development stage. So don't freak out. I'm not really concerned about it. It's a cool little thing, but it's not going to make or break the game. So there's also no fall damage. In case anybody was wondering about jumping off of a building when they're running from a killer, you got this. Now, there are other items that do work very well. And like I was mentioning earlier, that spyglass or the detective glass. All right, come here. There we go. See? Booyah. You can totally find out who's what. The only catch is you have to be close to them, and the idea there is that the killer has to be close to you to kill you. So you gotta be careful. Obviously, it's one of those, haha, I see who you are. Oh, it's the killer, oh my god, kind of a thing. So, okay, he's a civilian too. But anyways, there are plenty of things that you can do, plenty of items. Now, I can say that the guitars and the banjos and all of those other little instruments, they only have so many sounds. And there's an ammo count, like a guitar has ammo. Yeah. So I guess it's more to keep you from playing the same annoying thing over and over and over the entire game. Because if you survive long enough to run out of guitar picks, I mean, you've almost made it to the end and the killer's not doing their job. But anyways, one thing about this is that you do have to be mindful of your surroundings. It is in early development. There's the killer. I'm gonna run while playing myself some dramatic escape music. But with it in early development, with it being where it's at, that's about all I can show you right now without it getting monotonous, which it might have already kind of become borderline. But I'm intrigued by it. It's definitely different. It's probably not my cup of tea, personally, but I can say that it was well done. And if they continue to develop it and make it... oh, I ran out of ammo in my guitar. The bodies everywhere. Oh, I've got to go hide. I'll get my fingers crossed for it for this style of a game. I think it's good. I'm gonna, you know what? I'm gonna hide. I'm gonna be the carrot. And anyways, gamers, if you have any more questions, feel free to take a look at the game profile page on MMOHuts.com. And I would say give it a try, especially like I said at the beginning. If you're a fan of Gary's mod, boom, this is gonna be a game worth giving a shot. And I really wonder if my name tag is giving me away. Well, regardless, I'm going to keep hiding, and gamers, get back to gaming. I've been a carrot for so long. I don't know what food even looks like anymore. Except, oh. Okay, I'm good. Man, I've been here, like, I guess, this is be the carrot. That's my new motto. Granted, I really... Oh, no! My name tag wants to get me... I missed the jump. I'm dead. Oh, well, I'm going to get a star. I'm going to make it worth it. Why am I doing this? I should have just done like a ring around the rosy on there, but... I think the killer's faster than me, too. This sucks. Because I'm the only person around. They don't have any... Oh, there's another dead body there. I wonder if that was the sheriff. I don't even know who the sheriff... Where was the sheriff? Was the killer still following me? I really... Oh, no! Well, we can't win all the time.